Hey guys, got to see it with some 200 zoom. It's the morning pool, so it's not the softest pool ever, but gonna play anyway. And the worse our kicker with the nut flush draw, the more I like raising. Although also, you could make a case for wanting to raise when we have a backdoor straight draw as well. I'm gonna raise this 40%. Yeah, there's definitely an argument to be had over preferring having the backdoor straight with the nut flush draw, or with any of our flush draws, rather than just less showdown. And on turn we're going to polarize, still going to bet this one some of the time, using a large size when I do bet. Range betting on the right. And just PO giving up this combo on river. If I was going to follow through with a flush draw, it would be something like 9-7 of clubs. Not sure what I think about this check behind. I think it's fine, probably. Yeah, it seems fine, the check behind. Playing 3-bet or fold with 200 rake when there are no recreationals. And gonna start off with a range bet. Don't like having the jack of clubs. The ace of spades is kind of nice though. I think I'll barrel this one very occasionally. I'd much prefer to have a different suit of my jack to where we block queen jack suited. I'm pretty tempted to just exploit fold versus this. Especially blocking floats like Jack 10 of clubs, King Jack of clubs. I think this is going to be pretty underbluffed as well. And we are going to squeeze our ace queen suited. And mixing this 5-6. Typically this hand's not strong enough to over limp. This guy's playing 41-9. I think that's just about wide enough where we can profitably over limp this. It's not going to make us too much money. It definitely will lead out here some of the time. I think this mixes three. Yeah, this does mix some 3-bets. But yeah, also check it. This hand's just going to mix. I think I'd bet it about a third of the time. We can't bet too often on this board, given the big blind has so much 4x. And this is an insanely weird spot. Gonna definitely call one. I'm really not happy though. It's genuinely tempting to exploit fold the flop, but I think Queen 9's just a bit too strong. I might exploit fold a hand like 9-8. Whereas we can potentially beat some value bets with this hand. Call again on the turn. Still not happy. And check to side river. This is so tilting. This feels so value-y. Do we beat any value? I don't think he's betting Jack 9 for this size. I'm actually gonna RNG this 50-50. Okay, I'm gonna fold this time. This is gonna make some 3 bets. Yeah, I really have no idea on that river. Like, feels so value-y. Don't think this hand almost ever wants to stab. I like to use larger bets on this this texture, so I'm not doing any blocking in position. In which case, this hand almost always wants to check. Easy tangle. Yeah, I think he mostly wants to be blocking a jack there, if not pure blocking a jack. Defending jack 8 versus small. I am going to find some checks with this jack 8 and some bets. And I have 2/3 as my only size here. Interesting river. Just gonna go for this. It's nice that we chop with all jacks apart from ace jack. But yeah, I think we want to be extremely polar on this river to pretty much jack X or air, or jack X or better, or air. My bluffs there would be something like Queen 9. And maybe some low flush draws. Low frequency 3-bet, which we run. Gonna open ace 5 into a recreational. Or presumed recreational. Turn the volume down a bit. I think we do some flatting with ace queen suited. I think it's mostly a free bet, but I think we do find like 20% flats. Could even be higher, but on a 10 I'm definitely going to 3-bet. With 2 green tags, I'm definitely going to be opening wide. This guy's crazy. So he makes up a little bit for the 2 green tags. And yeah, I mean, just very easy fold. This guy's playing 6-5. Yeah, he's literally got a 6 and a 5 as a VPIP, which means I'm going to pure open the 7-6 against him here. We need to be opening, like, if there's a guy playing 6-5 in the big blind, you want to be adjusting your opening ratios. And he's so tight that I just kind of want to try and get to a cheap showdown here. Like, he's, as mentioned, literally playing 6-5, so his range is incredibly strong here. So this is not a normal post-flop spot. And if he puts in any money, I'm just going to get out of there. We just have to give this range respect. It's only 85 hands, but yeah, 6-5 is just ridiculous. And yeah, as expected, he has a pretty damn premium hand. He's up to 8-6 now. What a lag. He's going crazy. Gonna flat this ace-4 with this guy in the big blind. We're just gonna get squeezed so much less. Which makes flatting a lot more attractive. Just gonna check this one back. And I'm gonna start betting the turn here. We want to get some value against any draws he may have. And not many better feelings than aces on the button. Not too much action so far. Maybe that'll pick up with these hands. Gonna be checking range on the left. Jack 10 we are going to mix. This guy looks like a recreational actually, so I think I'm actually going to go for the call. As mentioned, just going to be range checking here. I'm using pot or check here and betting hand never. Oh, we are going to check raise the queen sometimes. Not this time. And I think just pure calling here. I don't like playing too many raises on draw heavy boards when I have position. Yeah, just going to pure call. And river could get spicy. Though, do I really wrap many full houses? Not really. Ooh, interesting. I think queens is a fold, actually, just blocking so many bluffs. Much better to call a hand like Jack 10. Even a hand like 8-9. 8-9 especially, where we have two gut shots. And I think we don't get to bluff our Jack 10. Yeah, I think we just block too much of a bluffing range and we don't beat any value. So gonna be a fold. This is a spot where we don't want to think about our absolute hand strength. We want to think about our blockers and our potential to improve on future streets. I think queens is one of our worst calling hands there. Not going to quite range bet this board, but going to bet a lot. This hand, I'm just pure betting this hand. I'll mix the tiniest amount of check-in with this hand. Interesting turn. Against this crazy guy, I'm gonna check. This is a board I'd usually range bet, but this guy's really crazy, so I just kind of want to let him bluff into and potentially make some cooldowns against him. I'm gonna call this and potentially bluff some board pairs and donk diamonds. That's the diamonds. Can we go big? I would have bluffs here with a hand like ace of diamonds jack or something like that. And he's cool here. As mentioned, this guy's just like really highly over bluffing, so I prefer to just to put hands like this in just to check down line. It's gonna perform way better against people that over bluff to play your middling hands very, very passively and not kind of go for sort of mergey protection-y bets. Range betting on the right. And we're going to check back and call a lot of blank rivers here. We have a really, really nice calling hand on river. Except on that one. Where all the straight draws get there. Unblocking clubs is good. This guy looks very fun so far. And easy check down. Probably just going to lose to a 9 here a lot. Ah, nice. That's one of the few hands he checks that we beat when it goes check check. There really aren't very many. Some nut flush draws, but a lot of them will check raise the flop. Do I ever call for ace queen off in these positions? I think like very rarely. I roll the very rarely. I don't think this happens often at all. It could just never happen. And going to bet range for 20% here. Our cold four betting range is so strong. That on dry boards like this, we just want to bet very small. The ace diamonds, I actually really quite like barreling this one. Gonna do it very often. And now having the ace diamonds becomes bad. Not only do we not block ace 10 suited, which is potentially in range against our small cold four bet. It's a fold in theory, but some people may make it. But we also block the diamonds in its range. And I think he played the hand totally fine. Once you low frequency 3-bet sevens there, you're meant to call the 4-bet. So yeah, well played by our opponent. The 6-9, we can big bet, we can small bet. I think we do have to bluff. I'm gonna go small bet. Never trying to get that hand to fold, of course. But I think our hand just has to bluff on the river. Block 5-6. We block a bunch of 7x. We block a lot of the ace-x that he checks back on turn, like ace-6 offsuit. Fours is just a fold. I think it calls super low frequency, actually. We should roll. And we have a leading range on this flop. Does fours ever get in there? I think we lead a bunch on this flop. Can do it occasionally. I think we're meant to lead like maybe even like 40% on this flop. This is not a thing. Yeah, not a fan of our opponent's bet size there. I don't know. Maybe it's the same. If it is, fair play to a guy. I don't think it is though. My guess is he has a hand like King 10 suited, or King 10 off. Maybe a hand like Queens. Queens or Jack. We do flat sometimes with ace queen. We also 3-bet. 10 versus size. I think we still find some folds. Definitely calling on this roll. And I would expect a range bet from our opponent here. Extremely good board for him. I'm not a fan of his size though. I think we do some raising with Jack 10. It's like Ace Jack and Jack 10 and never Queen Jack or King Jack. Because Jack 10 needs far more protection than Queen Jack and King Jack. And then Ace Jack just beats way more hands. Do I ever have leads here? I'd expect not. No, I don't think we do. Interesting spot versus turn barrel. Okay. On river we can block, we can check call. I think I'm going to go 50-50. Rolling check. Yes, the ace queen. The three player a bit bigger. Oh. Let's just do that. King 10, 2-8 to 3-bet. And I'm not going to 3-bet nines against the crazy guy. I think I want to be a bit more polar. Can have some leads on this flop with nines, probably not going to. And I like small bet here. Maybe even mixing some checks against, like, I like having really strong hands in unexpected spots against crazy people, because they like to level themselves and think you never have a really strong hand. In certain spots. Could raise nines. Now just gonna check call river. So yeah, I'm actually happy even in this specific spot that I check all the nines, because I guess there's only the 6 of hearts. But I don't think he'd give us credit for ever having a full house after we check call turn. That card did come. On a 9-7. Actually no, it's just a range bet with my preflop size. Specifically when it's rainbow and with a2. I don't think this board would be a range bet if you use 2.5x size. I'm not going to go too much into detail over that. I potentially should have opened that 10-5 suited, given there was a blue tag in the big blind. Blue tag generally means, or my blue tag means a very, very fun player. So want to be typically adjusting quite heavily against them. So a lot of the blue tags are the kind of 40-40, 20% pre-bet guys. So against that sort of blue tag, it'd be we actually want to open tighter than them. Again, with the crazy guy in the big blind, I'm not going to make too many loose opens. I check the flop. No, I must have raised. No, he min 3 bet me free. Okay. Interesting. I think I just want to bet. Like in theory, I'd want to RNG, but in practice against recreational, I think our hand just wants to bet. He can give us credit for many, many draws here on this turn. This King Jack will bet some of the time. I think I want to use pot check on this board. I think this is a board I use half check. Yeah, it is. I'm gonna check this back very rarely. We will find some occasional turn barrels here, I think. Not too often with this hand. Check back. Don't think we ever find a code 4 with ace 3. I think ace 4 does some code 4, but never ace 3. And the question is, do we call block here? Jack 9, Queen Jack, 9 7, 6 7. Low flush draws. I think we do potentially call this. Maybe not in theory, but exploitatively against this guy who I think likes to float especially wide. Screw it. There we go. On a 10, I will be 4-betting. My King Jack. This is going to be a board I use half pot check. I'm betting this hand really often, actually. This is the sort of hand we really like betting, where there's a bunch of turns we can jam, like where we pick up a lot of equity or top pair, especially on a king. This is interesting. I think my hand actually wants to raise fold a good amount. Gonna do it. Like our raise folds here want to be super polar. For the same reasons I think this hand makes a good bet, I think it makes a good raise fold. And this isn't exactly hard to balance with value. A lot of our overpairs want to be raising here. And nice to have. Like, it's... We don't want to ever raise a hand there that has to psi fold when he jams in that spot. This actually makes us some cold fours. Running out of time on the right, I'm going to reset because of time bank. But yeah, we never want to raise a hand here on the turn. With a blue tag, I'm actually going to cold call here. 7-3 suited versus cutoff. This probably calls. Is it pure? Maybe it folds sometimes. I was thinking I'd fold 20% of the time. This could be a pure call. A 200 rake, I doubt it really matters. I think at 500 I'd pure call. Definitely at 1k I'd pure call. Easy call on the right. Yeah, back to the King Jack. Yeah, our raises there want to. Interesting. Gonna reset for Blind Bank. Yeah, not the greatest session so far. Losing pretty much every pot. And we have the exact same spot here. We're going to fall back, sometimes call but rest. Fall bet again on this raw. This is an amazing board for us. We just get to half pot our range here. It's like one of the absolute best boards for us. When we 3-bet the big blind. I don't have stats on this guy, so I'm not gonna make any pre-flop adjustments and open that. With a recreational in the big blind, I'm gonna call. I should have flatted this sometimes. Against 2.2 on the button, we're meant to do some flatting in the small blind. That's something I'm adding to my game is small blind flats. Like a lot more people are using smaller button sizes. Like the 2.2 has become really popular on the button. And against that size, we're going to have quite a flatting range. So I'm trying to work on that, even though like at 200, it's not as great as it is at higher stakes where there's less rake. I'm more just doing it anyway because I want to work on it and kind of implement it into my game. Actually, just gonna start with small bet. I think I do want to stab this sometimes, but not too often. Going to be overbet or check on the turn. This hand's not always going to overbet on the right. Finding the check this time. And Queen Jack. I think mostly bluffing. I don't think pure bluffing. Yeah, I think if we just pure bluff like all of these combos, then we're just going to be way overdoing it. And I think hearts are like our best bluffs on the river now. I want to have some bets, like saying I have a hand like Jack-10 that check turn, and then I want to have some big bets, saying I river the king. I think this hand wants to go into both ranges. So on that river, I have a 60% size and a overbet size. But this hand, does this mix it? I think this does mix a tiny bit, 3-bet. I think this deep we don't call this hand. I think having like I think at 100 bigs this will mix all three options. And then at 125, I think fold kind of just gets pushed out. Gonna start this some of the time. This is one of those times using big bet or check. Gonna defend the king 3. This stack depth, I don't think we can check raise this hand ever, because the 3-bet jam happens too often, and we would have to fold. I like this one as a small bet on the turn. I'm mixing between small and overbet, and I think with like when we have the straight draw to kind of like when we have our combo draws, I prefer to use those in the big, and it's like this in the small. Very easy call. And I think I want to lead river. I'm going to target an 8 actually. I'm going to target an 8. I don't think. This one does want to lead some. Because he's mana float some ace high. Yeah, I don't think like many hands worse than an 8 are calling medium or small bets anyway. So. And we can block again. I don't like it so much on the turn because he's no longer meant to float ace highs. So I think we want to like lead some a7, but never hands like king 7 or queen 7 because he's meant to float ace high. So like when an ace comes on the turn or on the river, it's obviously good for us when he's floated ace high because we're then going to win like quite a big pot usually. Whereas when we have king 7 or queen 7 and we lead, he's just going to fold like the king queens. So we never kind of how would you put it, reverse dominate them, like his range, I guess, like his floating range, like we do when we lead the a7. Suppose it's going to be big bet or check. I'm going to bet this hand super rarely with the hearts. Like 10% of the time kind of thing. Having the queen and the 10's quite, like queen 10's like quite a nice one to do it with, but yeah, the hearts are just really not so nice. Easy fold. Just gonna call vest this guy. Be even more polar with my. Yeah, I want to be really polar against this guy. This hand plays too well as a call. Like against him, I'm going to be kind of using nuts or the bottom of my calling range. Kind of, I think hands like king queen offsuit, that sort of thing. And I don't think he should ever use this size. We have very easy continue. This sucks because this guy looks really tight. I'm going to call. Wish I had a note on this guy because I've given him my quote unquote most fun tag. But from his stats, I can't tell in what way he's fun. And I think we do. Like, this turn's just so good for us that we just want to stab here, I think. And we're super protected. Don't think he's ever allowed to check raise here. I think he's competent enough to know that he can never check raise here. And am I jamming river for value? I think so. I also think this guy's capable of calling hands like kings or queens. Mixing the 8-9. Yeah, I think this guy could even call with queens here. We do value own ourselves from time to time, but we have the best hand the majority of the time. And I think our equity when called is more than 50%, so we'll go for the jam. How long's the video been? 45 minutes. Okay, I'm going to call it a vid. It's a bit slow on the action to start, but I think some interesting spots. The pool's kind of good now. I might actually record another video straight off the back of this. I've got quite a free day. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to record another video off the back of this and post it at a later date. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.